A key term associated with archaic and classical era Greece is the polis, sometimes called the city-state. But what is a city-state? This video gives a very quick outline. A growth in population in ancient Greece means that we have the development of nucleated settlement. This becomes known as the city-state or polis. The polis is actually known from very early on. It's known in Homer. The archaeological signs of the development of the polis, that's a public space, temples, walls, public works and town planning, appear in an increasing number of archaeological sites from the 8th to 7th centuries BC. A lot of ancient Greece focuses on the city-state. A polis, the plural is polis, was a community with its own political organization. It's often taken to be interchangeable with the term city-state, since a city was often the key element to the polis. A city-state was a city with its surrounding land, but the historical emphasis is always on the inhabitants. The city would contain an agora, that's a meeting place where magistrates and people assembled to make decisions, and later on this often became the marketplace. It usually also contained an acropolis. This is a fortified hill that served as a place of refuge for the inhabitants. The main features of a city-state are its small size, local self-determination, its sense of community, and its respect for the law. Each polis controlled a territory that was marked out geographically by mountains or sea, or by being right next to another polis. As a result, border wars were very common, as were inter-city agreements and attempts to establish religious rights over disputed areas. Athens and Sparta, probably the best-known Greek city-states, possessed exceptionally large territories. There was also constant interchange and constant competition between cities, so that despite their separate identities, to a certain degree a common culture was maintained. Economically, the polis served an agrarian economy, so that's a farming economy, and it was a centre for local exchange, processing and manufacture. As you can see on the map here, many of the cities are located by the sea. Therefore, they had important overseas trading interests. Socially, the citizens of the polis tended to be of the same ethnicity, with smaller kinship groups also important culturally. Each city had a patron god or deity and a religious calendar. Women were not admitted to full political rights. Now, important to know is that the polis did not share their form of government. The type of government they had was not the same everywhere in archaic or classical era Greece. Being a citizen of a polis, that is a politai, was an important social distinction, and everybody in the polis viewed it as the best way to live, meaning that there was always going to be resistance to outside control, as we'll see through this week. Each polis sought freedom from other polis, and they all wanted the ability to self-govern. The polis was always defined as its members, rather than geographically, so that's different to the way we tend to view states today. For example, the polis of Athens is always called the Athenians, and citizenship generally implied participation in all political, judicial, and governmental activities. Sometimes these city-states developed out of ethni, that's nations of small tribal communities. But what is crucial to know about this political structure of this time period is that Greece did not have political unity. The city-state was the highest form of political organization. What was in common was their language, although there were different dialects. Sparta and Athens are the most famous of the Greek city-states or polis, and these are the two that will receive most of our attention this week and next week.